This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Agitavach, in the Sefer Saras Eliyahu, which is a work of Divrei Torah and stories about the Vilna Gaon, there's a perush from the Imrei Shmuel. And in the Imrei Shmuel, on page Tes Vav Amud Aleph, he brings an incredible thought from Rabbi Chaim Volozhiner. Rabbi Chaim Volozhiner says an amazing thing. Chazal tell us it's a sifri on V'zois HaBracha, on the pasuk like Kam Navi Oid B'Yisrael K'Moshe. There was never a Navi in Klal Yisrael like Moshe. Chazal Darshin B'Yisrael Hu D'Loi Kam Ava B'Umais Kam. Among the Jews there was never a Navi like Moshe, but among the Goyim there was. Who was that? Bilaam. Obviously this is a very difficult statement of Chazal. Bilaam is comparable to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is Adoin HaNeviim. If anyone believes that any Navi was equal to Moshe Rabbeinu, they're a kaifer in the Torah. Even if someone were to believe Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, David, Yechezkel, Yeshaya equaled the Nevuah of Moshe, it's a violation of one of the Yud Gimel Ikrim that Moshe Rabbeinu was the supreme Navi. So how could Chazal say that Be'umais ha'olam come, that among the Goyim there was a Navi on par with Moshe Rabbeinu? Bilaam, how could we say Bilaam was equal to Moshe Rabbeinu? So the Imrei Shmuel brings down a wondrous thought from Rabbi Chaim Volozhiner, who explains this with a mashal in nature. And that is, there are two birds that know the exact hour of the day, the moment of Chatzois Hayom, the moment of Chatzois Laila, but they're polar opposites. They're the exact opposite. You cannot get two more opposite birds. And these two birds are the Nesher, the eagle, and the Atalef, the bat. They both know the precise moment of Chatzois Hayom, Chatzois Halayla, and thereby every moment of the day. But their knowledge stems from the exact opposite source. You see, of all the birds, the eagle has the best vision, the best eyesight. As the morning comes, as dawn hits, and as the sun rises, the eagle's power of vision strengthens the more the light is illuminated in the world. Until the point that it's midday, and the light is at its brightest, then the eagle sees the best. So it knows that it's midday because that's when its vision improves. That's when its vision is at its peak, and then it begins to dwindle until the night comes where its vision is very low and very dim, until the point when it's pitch black, b'chatzois halayla, and then the Nesher cannot see anymore. So it knows when it's chatzois hayom through the power of a light, and it knows when it's Chatzois Halayla, when it recognizes and feels the absence of. The bat, on the other hand, has a different type of vision. It can't see in the light, it can't detect the light. It sees best in the darkness. Therefore, at midnight, its power of vision is at its peak. And then it knows, when its vision is working at its best, it knows it's midnight. And then, as the darkness wanes, it feels the coming of the light, and it feels its eyesight dimming until the dawn comes, and that's when the eyesight of the atalef, of the bat, really is diminished to a much greater extent. Until midday, it cannot see anything and notice anything. But it knows that it's midnight when it recognizes the absence of light, and it realizes that it's midday when it's no longer able to see. Moshe Rabbeinu and Bilaam had the same powers. They knew when it was an Eis Ratzain, and they knew when it was an Eis Za'am. But the way they knew were from exact opposite places. You see, Bilaam had an Eis Ratzain at a time that Hashem was shining His light and His benevolence to the world. This was so antithetical to the soul of Bilaam that he fell down. He collapsed. He cannot tolerate this kedusha. He realized that it was a time of Ratzain when his power waned and when he felt his koyach was diminishing. And when it was an Eis Kas, an Eis Zam, he felt being strengthened through his attraction to koyach hatumah. That's when he knew it was an Eis Zam. Moshe Rabbeinu was the exact opposite. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Ish Kadosh, at a time of Ratzain, his neshama detected the closeness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. His neshama detected the radiance and illumination of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, he realized that it was a shas HaKosher, it was a Shas Ratzain. And when his neshama detected a richuk from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he knew it was a Shas Hazam. So Moshe and Bilaam, they knew the same thing, but through the exact opposite means. Moshe was like the Nesher. His Re'iyah, his Kayach Hizoyan was so powerful, he detected the light of Nevuah and the light of Kedusha. He saw the reality of Hashem's closeness, and he detected its absence. Bilaam, on the other hand, whose impure soul was so detested Kedusha, when it was a moment of sanctity, his soul recoiled, and he noticed it in himself and knew it was a Shas Ratzain. And Masha'en came when it was a time of Zam, his detestable and debased soul was basking in the time of God's anger. Says of Chaim Volozhiner, Chas v'shalom, Bilaam's koach hanavua cannot even be spoken in the same sentence as that of Moshe Rabbeinu. But just as the Nesher and the Atalef are polar opposites, so were Bilaam and Moshe Rabbeinu. Says the Imrei Shmuel, what an incredible pshat. Kach shamati b'shem hagoyin reinu v'chaim hanal. And he says, Yan ki chavivim v'arevim alai divrei doidim. Since it's so beloved to me, I brought it down here in the Sefer Imrei Shmuel on the Saras Eliyahu page Tesvav, wishing everyone a good gesunte Woche.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.